Welcome. If you're a typical doctoral student, you're probably wondering when you will be assigned a dissertation advisor and committee. You're also wondering, how does this assignment process take place? I'm Dr. Karen Harbeck, and in this video, I'll share some insider information about when and how you obtain your advisor and what you can do about it if the process isn't working for you, because this is a critical relationship in your ability to complete your dissertation in a timely manner. Let's first talk about when you get your dissertation advisor. It is usually when you've finished your coursework and your comps, if any, and then university will assign you a dissertation advisor. The program will assign you a dissertation advisor. So how does that happen? There are several ways. First of all, let's say you're in a small program like elementary reading or just reading, and there's only one professor that teaches that topic. That person will probably be your dissertation advisor, all right? The second way you get a dissertation advisor is a little more complicated. First of all, for example, in education, if you're in higher education, your advisor will come from faculty in higher education. If you're in elementary education, the faculty will come from there. Now, some universities then cut it further. They say to the faculty, would you rather supervise quantitative dissertations with statistics and numbers, or would you rather supervise qualitative dissertations with words and interviews and things like that? So the faculty person chooses which of those they wish to do. Then someone on the faculty and an administrator possibly sit down when the new group of people needing an advisor come up for consideration. They sit down and look at the list of available faculty and the topic that you're studying. What are available faculty? Well, some faculty are really good at getting their students through in a rapid manner. Through meaning getting their dissertations written and completed. Those people will have several people graduate each year, and they have slots open for new students. Each university professor's contract stipulates how many courses you have to teach each semester and how many doctoral students you have to supervise of their dissertation, serving as their dissertation advisor or chair. So according to the contract, some people may have slots open, especially new faculty. So then the faculty and administrators sit down and try to match you with one of the faculty that has an open slot. And then you're informed who your dissertation advisor is by the university administration. Sometimes they tell you who your second reader is. Your third reader may be on the faculty, or they can be someone you choose from outside. For example, I served as a third reader at several universities when a student was working on gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender issues, and no one on the faculty was an expert in that topic. So you do have the ability to choose your third reader very often. Otherwise, you can just take someone who's on the faculty, and they will be assigned to you probably, or you could request them. All right, so now we know how you get an advisor and when. The other question is, what can I do if I want a certain person to be my advisor? You have to ask that professor if they will be your advisor. And if they agree, then you write an email to the faculty person or administrator who's in charge of assigning dissertation advisors and say that I would like to work with Professor so-and-so because we share an interest in X, and Professor so-and-so has agreed to serve as my advisor. That works really well, and if they can accommodate your request, they usually do. It's important to think about who you want on your dissertation committee, because if they assign you someone that you know is difficult or someone you haven't really connected with in classroom work, you probably don't want that person as your dissertation advisor. Now, in terms of overall members of the committee, the university has guidelines. For example, they have to have a doctorate. You'll have to probably have at least 2 people who are within the university and familiar with the program that you're in. And then the third person could be in another program or outside, but they'd also have to have a doctorate. So that's how it works. With the third person, you do the same thing. You'd write them and say, I'm interested in this. Would you serve as a third reader on my committee? And if they say yes, then you inform the university administration that your committee is made up of these 3 people. And you try to mitigate the amount of work you're expecting from the third reader. They have to read your proposal and offer approval at the proposal hearing, and they have to read your final dissertation and attend your dissertation defense. So sometimes they're more engaged than that and give you advice as you go along, but often they come in towards the end and just say, yes, this is acceptable, or I would make these few changes and this is fine. So that's how you get a dissertation advisor and dissertation committee. Now, some non-traditional programs, for example, some EDD programs, take a cohort of admitted students and march them through the entire doctoral program in 27 weeks. The expectation in those weeks is that you will finish your coursework and you will write a dissertation. In those instances, you're usually very early assigned a faculty member to be your dissertation advisor, and pretty much you work solely with that person until the time comes from your proposal defense, and then later for your dissertation defense. Again, it's important to have people that you like to work with, because it's a process that's difficult enough as it is without having interpersonal difficulties with your advisor in terms of them not being responsive or not liking your topic and wanting you to change it, or not really understanding what you're writing about, or just not liking you. And again, if these things start to occur, don't be a victim. Talk to the advisor in a professional manner. And if the problem is still not resolved, then I would go to the administration that selects dissertation advisors and say, look, Professor so-and-so and I have sort of mutually agreed that we're not working well together. And may I have another advisor? I suggest so-and-so with whom I've worked very well in the past. So don't be a victim. Some dissertation advisors can crush you and kill your progress. And there is no earthly reason for you to put up with that. Of course, you have to act in a sane and responsible and respectable manner. And if you seem reasonable and rational and your needs aren't being met, get them met from another advisor and from the university administration. Okay? That's what happens with the dissertation committee, and when you get it and how you work with it. Good luck. Thank you. Bye-bye.